we're going to play some D&D. But I don't really have any announcements or things I have to talk about today, so I'm just going to straight away hand it off to Jackie. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. I just have regular announcements for you all. We have the same kind of reminders, housekeeping, and that is if you feel so inclined to subscribe to us, you can, of course, if you have Twitch Prime, subscribe to us for free once a month. We would love to have your support if that is a thing you are able to do. As always, we can absolutely interact with you guys on Twitter, here in the chat, but feel free if you can't watch the full stream, or if you just kind of think of questions throughout the week, please come and interact with us over on Twitter @_ROLLINC. Come be our friends. If you haven't caught up with the exciting story so far, you can watch our past episodes over on the Dice Cult on YouTube under a playlist called Roll Incorporated. And I think that's it. If you'd like to follow any of our socials, you can type in chat !social. If you'd like to see any of our homebrew rules, you can do !roll inc, I believe. And as always, smash that follow button, hit that subscribe, let's settle in.
I'm so proud of us.
I was watching. You guys got really close to get it all together. Ian there came in at the end, like, oh crap, we're doing this.
Well, I was on time from my perspective.
Everyone did perfect.
Thank you, teacher Jackie. Outside of the reminder that we're starting at 5:30, which I believe she said, but I'm saying again, we're starting at 5:30. That's our normal start time now for a 3-hour stream. I've been looking forward to this session since 8:30 last Wednesday. So let's play some D&D.
Yeah.
So, our adventure picks up. I think we're live. Our adventure picks up from our intrepid party of adventurers, the Tram Fam, had gone out and slew, according to the official report, the serial killer in the woods, although they just really threatened the crap out of him and made him leave after beating him up some. And returned, got the reward, and they've spent the last 2 days just waiting, enjoying their weekend, catching up on conversations and getting to know each other better. Magda and Clara had a fine evening out of asking questions and sharing secrets. Olivia, Caden, and Hurd went and confronted, Sherman, the underboss of the mob, while Caden tried to keep his friends alive. And on Sunday morning, after some pancakes, Magda had another conversation with Anthony. And during that conversation, Clara had an amazing revelation that she might be responsible for the cracks in the walls that are going to doom all of the world. Having had that revelation, she dashed home to get a secret book. The rest of the party followed questioningly. And they are now standing in the foyer, I guess the entranceway of, not the entranceway, you're standing in the shop, in your shop. Jackie, Clara, which I don't think you've ever said the name of on stream. It's like Odds and Baubles and Things or something like that. I can't quite remember it.
I definitely
know of your dad's shop?
It's in a document somewhere that I can't access right now.
But yes, you're standing in your shop. Your dad is there, but nobody else from the outside. Just your party and your dad, and you're discussing your next stage, your next set of plans, and the implications of the fact that your boyfriend's time magic might be the cause of the cracks in the wall, and you've sort of been helping him.
Yeah.
So, straight to the watch then?
No. I mean, are you turning me in? Is that what's happening?
I'm turning him in.
He's not available, right? He's in a time vortex.
And
You can't arrest someone in a vortex.
we already know how to get him out. It's just that powder stuff.
And we need 3,000 gold. I've already told them. I have already told them that they're waiting for him.
You can say that you didn't know. It's fine.
I definitely told them I knew.
Well, you knew that he was in a vortex. You didn't know he cracked the wall all over.
Sure, I still don't I think I'm going to be implicated in this. Someone out there has one of my notebooks that definitely says that I did this.
What?
There was a notebook missing in his home that I wrote, and it's gone, and I don't know who has it.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No.
Also, for things like this, they tend to like to spread the blame around to make sure that the wronged parties are prosecuted. I originally thought maybe going there was a good idea, but now that I've had what feels like a week to think about it, maybe it wasn't such a good idea.
Thank you for not
My
wanting
brother
to send me
was
to
right.
jail, Dad.
My brother's arrested for murder. My sister cracks the wall that keeps all of the world safe. I'm supposed to be a watchman. I'm gonna get fired.
You're not going to get fired. We just
Not?
can't let any more information out. We need
Only
to
if they
find
find
out
out,
who
right?
has this
What
book.
if we fix it? What if we fix it?
We could
What
also
are you gonna
fix
do? Go over there with some cement and just like give it a spit and cover it?
We
Like
just need azurite powder. We just need it. I already asked Sherman about it.
why? What?
I did. I asked him about it.
Yeah, but what is the azurite powder? Like, yeah, it's gonna bring that guy back, but what if he, I don't know, starts killing people? Yeah, apparently he's willing to kill the whole world by cracking the wall.
He's not a murderer.
He's gonna murder a lot of people if the wall cracks.
He doesn't know that right now because he's stuck in a time vortex.
How do you know that?
I don't. But do you want me to leave him there?
Yeah.
Don't. Look, either way, we have to solve this problem. Either by stopping the cracks in the wall. And to do that, I think we need the powder. And we need to get that from someone. Whether it's the watch, but I really would not like to tell them the truth. Because I don't want to go to jail. Or we find somewhere else.
I mean, where are we going to get that? How much do you need again?
3,000 gold worth.
Clara, I'll make a deal with you. I will not tell the watch anything as long as you stop frouncing around with Sherman and Kieran and all these other people that are trying to like kill people. All of the boyfriends that you've had are murderers or breaking the wall or a mob leader. I will help you get your azurite powder from the Rook as long as you stop this nonsense.
I feel like that's a very unfair deal, so I'm not going to say yes to this.
Don't date a guy, save the world? Come on, you gotta think for you're being a little selfish right now.
I'm not thinking for myself. You want me to think the way you think.
I'm not telling you to think away. I'm just
Hold on, ladies. I'm sure that we can come to a conclusion without violence between you two.
I'm
right?
not gonna hit her. I'm just gonna yell at her.
You guys are kind of stressing me out.
Oh, you're being stressed
Can't
out?
we come to some?
The amount of stress that I have had.
Clara has a boyfriend?
Two of them. Yeah.
No.
Wait,
No.
two boyfriends?
No.
I mean, I don't
No.
judge.
One is a
no,
murderer, the other one is cracking
Olivia,
the wall.
Olivia, I hate everything that's happening right now.
I feel like in the scope of things, though, that's really low on our priority list.
Right?
Yeah, so stop doing stuff with them and help us save the world. Just leave them.
If I say yes right now, would you stop talking about this?
I mean, you'd be agreeing.
Fine. Stop talking about this in front of my dad.
Well, do you agree? Shake my hand.
No.
Well, then I'm gonna keep talking about it.
Okay, Magda, Caden, do you think that the Rook could get us 3,000 gold worth of azurite powder?
I think that if we do enough work for him, he might. I couldn't tell you
I
what
agree. I
kind
think
of work
the
and how much.
I do agree. I think the Rook would see an opportunity. I have a feeling the Rook would want to know why. He'd want a real reason. And the truth is, if he thought that there was something he could gain from this politically, socially, in terms of status, and fixing the wall would be a pretty high status related thing, even if that wasn't, public exactly what was going on. I could see him being a good resource. But I have a feeling we'd have to spill what's going on, and that's dangerous.
I feel like we're gonna have to tell someone something. Whether it's the Watch or the Rook. I don't know.
I don't think that we should go to the watch.
Well, what's the? Sorry, Herd. Go ahead.
That's only going to get us stuck in jail. All of us, probably.
I mean, you guys are not implicated in this.
What
As
what
your-
other uses are there for azurite powder?
Arthur?
Well, its main component is this. Basically, absorbs and helps stabilize magical formulas and things like that. You can put them in stabs and rods and amulets and things like that, and so you can put a powerful spell and it'll allow it to move smoothly without flowing up. It's a stabilizing agent.
So I take it that it's used in a lot of different items.
It is, but it's like the premium stabilizing agent. So its value on the market. So they used up trillions of gold worth of it on the wall, and we mine it, and there isn't a whole lot of it, or there's somebody keeping a chokehold on the amount that we have, because it is like pound for pound for gold. It's quite expensive. 3,000 gold worth is only like 2.5 pounds. Like it's the premium stabilizing agent. Most magical items that you're gonna find would have a different stabilizer, just a weaker one or
Right.
a lesser one, because it
So,
it's not worth it.
but you did get a message from the Watch saying that they have the azurite powder and just need to
They said that they would
confirm.
be getting it. And that they
Oh, I thought you
wanted-
had a deadline on that or
I
a
think I
response.
did. Yeah,
Monday, tomorrow.
yeah, I think we gotta go tell them something Monday.
Well,
Not sure.
So from our side,
the thing
exciting. For some reason, every time we try to... You know what? Thank you for your patience. The technical difficulties are just as gradient on us as it is in anybody watching. But we'll figure it out one of these days. All right. So coming back, 3,000 gold of azurite powder is about 2 pounds. And to have that all brought together in one place, yeah.
Did somebody say that the watch was going to get the azurite powder?
Yes, that's what the Lady Gleason said. And should be there on Monday, so
Well,
you can always just take it from them.
Yeah, I mean, that honestly solves a lot of problems. It causes some others, but I feel like less than we currently have.
We need to get the azurite powder, right? And
Yes.
if we just go to the watch and turn you in, I don't think that's the way to get it. You know, the word. It was a great deal, Olivia, but you know, I think that we just need to get the azurite powder, and I think Meg is onto something here.
Well, no, the deal was that I'm okay with going for the rook, as long as she doesn't do anything with the other guys.
Olivia, I would love to have a chat with you after we decide about the azurite powder.
Oh, okay.
Let's just leave that. That's where we're ending that discussion. And we're now going to talk about azurite powder. And I promise you it will be worthwhile.
I turned to Olivia to gauge her reaction on her just telling her that.
The reaction is just angry and untrusting.
So, par for the course.
Are you guys suggesting robbing the watch?
Oh, no.
No, not at
No.
all. Why don't let's go get some lunch and talk about this more. Don't worry about it.
Okay, yeah, I can close up the shop.
Dad,
This is,
actually,
this is-
I wrote some letters to some of my school friends who might be able to help you with the requisition, so that we don't need to worry about that. I would love if you could take them to the post, send those off so that they get them as quickly as possible, and maybe we can have some more help too.
So this is you politely telling me you don't want me part of this conversation?
No, I do not want to make you feel like I'm alienating you. That is not what I want to happen. However,
I think the issue here is that the more you are in this, the more responsibility you will have, and you could get arrested if something goes wrong.
and
Your
I
duty
will
at this
cry if
point
that
is to
happens.
be quiet and stay here.
Plausible
There's
deniability.
nothing wrong with crying, but
Okay, okay. But look, you could.
All right,
just,
yeah, where's the letters?
She will like
Just-
run upstairs, run downstairs.
Yeah, as you go upstairs, he follows you up.
Oh, okay.
I understand that that the whole vision I had for us running the shop and all of that has gone by the wayside. That you've chosen a different path, and that's fine. But just be careful. Your new friends seem a little bit risky, and just be careful, okay?
I really am trying, and I don't like. Honestly, this could just be a phase. I don't know. I have never done this before. This is a lot for me to handle. I'm sure it's a lot for you to handle.
It's fine. I
It's
just don't
not
want to
fine.
lose you. I just
Yes.
don't want you to end up in jail.
I also don't want to end up in jail. I also don't want you to end up in jail. So we're going to try and handle this as quickly and quietly as we possibly can, and then I can come home and I can get us some help in the shop.
That's not what I mean. It's not about the help in the shop. You're cut out for adventuring.
I don't know. I'm really bad at it.
How do we know if you're bad at it? Do we know anybody who's done it before? Maybe you're really good at it. But just know I have your back. You don't have to keep secrets.
Okay. I'm still going to ask my friends to come and help you out because a lot of things have been happening, and apparently now we have to deal with Sherman and the Rook, and I would really like it if they were around you more so that I know that you're okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Have fun.
Handsome letters.
He takes them and he'll follow you back downstairs.
Okay.
Well, enjoy your lunch.
Okay, Dad.
Have fun storming the castle. The bell rings gently as you leave.
What do you want to do, Magda?
Let's continue our discussion of what we want to do. Find someplace private to talk. Should we just go back to my apartment?
Yeah,
Unless either of you have a better idea.
this is not something to talk about at a restaurant in public.
Yeah, let's go somewhere private.
You make your way back to Magda's place. Not accosted along the way, and as you are traveling, and the time of the travel gives you a chance to just sort of take a couple deep breaths. You realize that any solution you come up with, you have a little bit of time. He spent a whole year in there before. So, but yeah, you make your way back to Magda's place and you have your privacy. Caden checks around like normal.
So, what's the plan? Olivia, are you able to, you know where they're going to be holding the azurite powder?
We are not stealing azurite powder from the watch.
What else are we supposed to do?
That is not an option.
I think there are two main ways of going about this. One, we trick them into talking to a fake Kieran Gall, and they give us the azurite powder through that conversation. Or we steal it from them, but of course we still have to deal with the fact that we've left a loose end in Clara and Kieran Gall, and they still want to talk to him.
Also the eels.
The eels,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
The other possibility is the Rook, but I believe that's not a guarantee, and that comes with exposing ourselves further in terms of another person knowing a lot of information.
Well, why don't we just do another frickin' job for the Rook and get $3,000 and buy azurite powder?
Because we can do this without the Rook. We don't need the Rook.
We're not going to break into the watch. We're not going to lie to the watch. I am a member of the watch.
I'm
And that's
worried
exactly
that
why it's
even
going to
if-
work.
No, I already broke you out of jail once for murder. That the only reason I was okay with that is because you didn't actually do the murder. It's just, it's not.
There is. I'm sorry. Continue.
It's not okay.
Neither is murder. I mean,
You didn't do the murder though.
I know I didn't. I know that I didn't.
Yeah, so that's why I broke you out.
Who did the murder?
not me.
Can we talk about the problem at hand and not the murder that happened? Please.
There is another angle with the rook. Clara, Magda, we haven't had a chance to fully discuss everything, but heard Olivia and I had a bit of a discussion, an unfortunate, abrupt discussion with Sherman last night. Everything is fine for the moment. When Bird and Olivia were gone, I believe that Sherman made a indirect threat directly at Olivia. And I believe that's going to be a concern for us going forward. Olivia, he alluded to needing to teach you a lesson. We are, as we discussed, we'll have to discuss as a group the events of last night a little bit further at some point, and what some of the implications of that are. But at the moment, what I believe is that our safest bet for dealing with Sherman, who seems to have taken an unfortunate interest in a few of our Elven party members, is keeping close to the rook. Sherman is the rook's right hand, and he is unsure and has asked me on 3 different occasions now why the rook is coming directly to us. He doesn't like it. He doesn't let on he doesn't like it, but I'm sure he doesn't like it. I don't know why the rook has come to us either. There is the possibility of exploring that more. If we did another job for the rook, it possibly endears us to him closer, and anything we can do that brings us closer to the rook keeps us safer from Sherman.
Yeah.
I am worried that even if we collect 3,000 gold and use it to intend to buy azurite powder, we're not going to be able to find 3,000 gold worth of azurite powder on our own.
You already... No, I don't know that. I'm sorry, I almost went meta for a sec there.
Olivia, I didn't enter that meeting, but we took care of that murderer for Gleason on behalf of the rook. If we did something for the rook, is Gleason under the impression she owes the rook something?
I think that was the reason why we did that for the rook. We told Gleason that she owed the rook a favor.
I'm asking, you have been in meetings with her more than I have. Does 3,000 gold worth of azurite powder seem like a request a rook could make?
Oh, okay, that's... You're not... This is going to sound rude, but it's because it is. You're not stupid, Caden. It's going to be obvious if we ask her for 3,000 gold worth of azurite powder, and then the rook asks her for 3,000 gold worth of azurite powder. It's obviously for us.
We've not hidden that we did the job for the rook. We're screwed there already.
I don't see the difference in asking the rook for it or asking the rook to ask the watch for it. I guess it takes his favor away, which I don't know if he'd want that. If Clara's gonna keep doing her stuff with Sheldon or Sherman, fucking shitface, and if you guys are gonna still work with the rook, and if Sherman wants to freaking kill me now, then we're gonna need to get in the good graces of the rook, no matter what, it seems. So, and I'm not okay with anything to do with lying to the watch, stealing from the watch. They are the law enforcement, and if we start fucking around with them, things are going to be a hell of a lot worse for us. So we might as well just get in good with someone else rather than fucking someone else over.
As you gesture towards Clara, you turn and she has her hand on the doorknob.
The fuck are you doing?
Clara,
Yeah, didn't think that was gonna work.
where are you going?
Okay, look, this is a lot. This is a ton. That is honestly not your problem. I feel like a lot of things can be solved you made Sherman really angry, Olivia, for I don't know why. After you snuck around. Nope, you're gonna let me talk. Let me talk. No.
I didn't say anything.
No.
Keep going.
You followed us on our night where he was pleasant and he wasn't trying to kill anyone. Then you proceeded to make him even more angry. Now that's going to be a problem. We don't know who we can trust. You are loyal to the Watch, clearly. So, I feel like we don't have good options. Doesn't matter what I was going to do.
Yeah.
No.
Did we tell you what happened to Sherman's ex-wife or wife?
You said she died.
What I'm trying to... Please understand why Olivia did what she did and why I did what I did. We're worried for you.
Yes. And I understand completely. However, your worry has only caused more problems.
Clara?
I really see one big problem here. It's the cracks in the wall. And
I caused those, so yes.
It's all of our problems, though. You said that this is your problem. We're in this together. And we're going to solve it together. And I think the first thing that we need to do, obviously, as we already said, doing circles here, is get the azurite powder. Now, it really comes down to how we want to do that. We've thrown about a couple ideas. Olivia, in the grand scheme of things, I think a job is less important than preventing this issue. It's like being the savior of this entire town. I think, that holds a little bit more weight.
What if it doesn't work, though? We'll end up in the mines for the rest of eternity.
If it doesn't work, the wall's probably going to break, right? I mean, it's cracking. There's already 2 cracks. We don't have a lot of options here, and I think that this is the best option.
Okay, what I don't understand is everyone was like, yeah, we're doing jobs with the Rook. There's another one pending. And now I'm like, yeah, continue to do that and get azurite powder. And everyone's like, oh, no, we won't do that anymore.
Is that what we sound like?
Right now, yeah.
Well, I think the concern is just that working with the Rook won't get us the azurite powder that we need.
Why not?
Because the Watch may have taken all the supply. We may have to, it may be possible to do it with the Rook. We may have to spend many months working for it. And we may have to pay a great deal more than 3,000 gold to get the amount needed. All I say with the Watch is that they have already collected it. It is already in the city. And it is there for the taking if we can figure out how to get to it.
None
There
of
are
that
other
is
avenues
no.
around, but
The option of going to the Watch and trying to take it would require Olivia. Olivia, would you be willing to do this? It would require your expertise.
I think I have expressed my opinion on the subject.
Then I don't see another option. We go to the Rook and we see what can come of that. Because we're not going to get to the powder at the Watch, especially with a Watch member among us who's not on board.
At the very least, it can't hurt to see what he has in mind. And if it doesn't work, then we reconsider.
Just go ask him what the next job is. Don't mention the powder and just see what he wants. If it's something that's going to take months, we already know that the one guy was in there for a year, so what's the problem with it taking a couple months? In the end, we end up with a friend who's one of the most powerful people in the city, plus we're friends with the Watch still. We'd be friends with both sides of the everyone. We'd be freaking gods in the city.
We have a few days.
Technically, if our plan to get the powder went well, we would still be friends with the Watch, because they wouldn't have anything on us. But I understand your point. We'll talk
Clara.
about
I'm laughing as me right now, not Olivia. This is so
Olivia.
stupid.
I'm Magda. I don't get caught.
get caught.
When did Gleason say the azurite powder? What's going to happen with the azurite powder? When is that?
Monday. She said she would come by, or she would send.
No, you're
wizards.
supposed to meet up.
We're supposed to meet up Monday, and I'm supposed to take people to Kieran with the azurite powder to allow them access to him.
And you are convinced that if you were to bring them there, that you would be implicated dangerously?
I
Is there
think
anything that's stopping us
not
from
in-
just letting them do that?
Well, 1, eels. 2, I don't know that it would be immediate, but if they did investigation into the fact that there is a time portal there, then yes. I think only Kieran and I are the people who know how that works or how to set it up. So someone out there has knowledge that I did this, and I don't know who has that information. It could very well be someone with the Watch or who was investigating Kieran, trying to find him. It could be literally anyone.
Who has the ability to get in that house?
I do. I don't know who else. I'd have to ask Kieran. And the last
Ag?
time I did that, I mean, no, it was stolen before we met Ag.
Oh.
What about Kieran?
What about him?
I mean, he's jumping through time, right? I don't understand this time thing, so just tell me I'm an idiot if I am. But if he's jumping through time, right, can he not go back to his own residence and grab the book?
No, you can't go back to a time where you already are. You can't exist.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
I'll
you
take
can't
your
exist in
word
the
for it.
timeline twice. That's not how it works. Bad things happen to you. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd kill Olivia if I saw her. That's a threat. I mean, if you saw another one of yourself just pop up, like, it's...
Olivia, you make another one of yourself pop up.
That one's, harmless. Harmless as smoke.
Kind of looks dead.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. But.
So having a tentative plan to go to the Rook.
Do you
What
want
do you
us to
guys
kill
think?
those eels?
Yeah.
We definitely need that to happen. There's a lot of them, and I nearly got killed by one. So, yes. I don't know if we might need to ask the Rook help for that too.
I think we could at least vet the issue and decide if we can tackle it before we ask for more help.
Yeah, we could go look at some eels. We could do that.
He still have food in his fridge?
I
No.
think.
Oh,
Oh, we?
no.
sorry.
The
What? How do you know?
Sorry, thought you meant ours. We haven't gone shopping.
We did go shopping.
Didn't you go shopping last episode?
We did go
hate
shopping last
pancakes, Caden.
episode.
I saw the fridge.
Paid 50 gold for liquor.
Yeah.
Scott's
more than
deception
just
roll
that,
failed.
Oh, that's so
Caden's pissed off.
Oh, okay. Everyone is so confused.
So what's the plan? Like moving it to action. What's the plan? Are you going to see the Rook right now, or are you gonna wait until Monday? After the Azurite powder meeting is supposed to be in the morning at her office. Are you doing that? So, how do you want to play this?
Well, I think we first need to decide what we're doing about that meeting, because it's suspicious if you go, and it's suspicious if you don't.
Yeah.
So that it may be our first thing on the agenda is what do we do about the meeting? Because they do know who you are now, and they also presumably could contact you through other means.
Presumably, yes. That's why the watch is complicated.
If
Ouch.
the meeting would complicate things there, is there a reason perhaps that we go, if we were to keep the meeting, is there work we could do at Kieran's house to clear your information from it before the meeting? Would that be a useful, a good use of our time before then? Clear the eels and clear any trace of your presence there?
I mean, that might give us some time, but without knowing who has my notebook, I don't know that I don't
can't
know if
solve
that's
that.
Can we buy a big rug and put it on top of that circle? What?
Yeah, Olivia, you go and buy a big rug. You go do that.
I don't want to pay for it. It's your problem.
I mean, it's actually not that bad of an idea if we can, right? Just literally
circle is
sweep the whole
underneath
thing
a
under the
giant
rug.
3D glowing clock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
thought it was just like some chalk.
will Kieran himself implicate you?
I don't think so. If he implicates me, he's implicating himself, and I think we're both. And I did warn him what was going down after meeting with Captain Gleason, so he's aware that it could be a bad time if they discovered all of the time magic things, and that things have been changing. I at least assume he knows that. But
What would likely happen to him if they were to find out?
probably a trial, probably jail. If it's discovered that he is causing the cracks in the wall. Is that treason? I don't know. That seems like a bad thing, and they might kill him.
I mean, it
The
is.
silence does not make me feel better.
I mean,
I'm
you were
nodding.
completely
I mean,
correct.
I think that he'd probably die. Yep.
Yeah. The wall has been keeping us safe for thousands of years, and he broke it. Like,
Technically, I also broke it.
Would they need this magic in order to fix the wall?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I would need to do more research in order to figure that out. And that requires time that I don't know that we have, because tomorrow I'm supposed to go see Gleason.
Says the time wizard.
Claire just sits down on the ground.
So, I think our task is to redirect their attention. So, we need to come up with a plausible lie for Claire to tell them why Kieran cannot come to talk to her. To talk right now.
We could just show them the eels.
I mean, it's not a lie.
There are eels, like they exist.
You just say it was a
How
magical
does
accident?
this-
I mean, I think they might be invisible
No.
until they.
So, how does this relate to I agree. The eels are maybe a possibility, but how do we... Why can't Kieran come talk to you? Oh, there's eels.
Well, so, I mean, he's stuck in the middle of that circle, surrounded by a bunch of eels, and the only thing... They can't go past that barrier. That was the only way I didn't get eaten.
So, but we decided against showing them the circle because that would implicate Kieran of time magic and is illegal. So how do we show them the eels? How does this relate to his experiment and him not being able to be there without also showing them the time travel?
That's a good point.
What if we just say he's like got food poisoning and horrible diarrhea and he can't make it?
I think they'd need more proof than that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if they're asking for proof of that. I mean,
technically, I can disguise myself. I know how to do that. I also can allow anyone else to do that. She's like reaching into her pocket for the scroll Karen gave her.
It's not there.
It's not there?
Nope.
It's not there?
It's not there.
Why is it not there?
How can you do that?
Magic. I could cast a spell that makes me look different.
Let's see. So you can modify people's memories. You can make yourself look different. This is
Yeah, that's
really
what
quite concerning.
We should talk.
This is concerning. It's right. See?
Sure,
Thank you,
sure.
Caden.
There's a bigger picture.
Sounds
and-
great to
yep,
me.
Yep.
I would gladly teach you.
Hear me out for a moment. Let's say you had gone today to go find Kieran to let him know, hey, Monday's when the Azurite's powder is coming. And while there, an experiment went awry and all of these eels came and you and Kieran were separated. You escaped out the door and Kieran had to do some sort of spell to escape. And now when they arrive with the Azurite powder and we bring him back, we're just quick to remind Kieran that it was a good thing he was able to escape when those eels came. And now that it's clear, he's safe to return. That's
Okay. Sure.
Again, the large magic circle for time.
Yeah, like
with a
I'm
big
gonna have
clock.
to spend some time with the Azurite powder and like do calculations and like graphing.
yeah. But how many Time Wizards did they say there was, and how many of them are at the wall right now? All of them? Are any of them going to know what this spell is?
It's a
I'm
clock,
worried
though.
that the giant 3D clock is a bit of a giveaway.
Suppose.
Everyone,
I don't know.
everyone forgets about the giant 3D clock.
I don't. I mean it.
Okay, so I think overall we're
Also-
saying don't bring the wizards to his house.
Yeah.
So I need to stall them. I need to give them a reason to not go tomorrow. That I have to do that. So I can go as myself and lie and try and stall for time.
Well,
or I could go
perhaps-
as Kieran.
you don't need to lie so much as be creative around the truth. In terms of fabricating a story, the eels are not a bad place to start. There was a magical accident, lots of eels.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, even where Caden was going, there was an accident. We don't have to tell him the eels are still there, just that they came out and he disappeared somewhere. Don't know where he is.
Okay.
That's not a lie.
Sure. All right. So I'm going to go to the meeting tomorrow. I'm going to tell them magic, eels, separated, and that I need some time to find him,
To recontact him.
to recontact him. Okay.
Yeah, just tell them that he'll contact them when he's back. I mean, just move yourself as far away from this as possible.
But in the meantime, we'll take that powder.
I don't think that they're just going to give me 3,000 gold's worth of powder. I don't think that's going to be a thing of like, I can't contact him, money please. That's not going to work.
Be charming, Clara. It worked on Sherman.
I can't tell if that was judgy or not.
Nice one.
Okay. Fine, that's what I'm gonna do. I guess I'll tell you how it goes tomorrow.
I mean, we can help. We're offering help.
How are you going to help me tell them about my mentor? They just know he's my mentor. You're gonna mention that he's my boyfriend, and that's gonna complicate a whole other series of things. So I don't trust you in the room.
I can help. I'm pretty sure I can help.
How are you
And-
going to help her? Please tell me exactly how you're going to help in very specific detail.
I'll show you. I cast guidance on her. You have 1 minute.
To live?
Go on, get about it. No.
Turns the rest of the
To
party.
make your
Problem's gone.
You have 1 minute.
Last words.
all right. So maybe that won't work.
I mean, that joke was better than your normal ones, so I think it helped.
What? Wasn't a joke.
Claire's there. Oh, she is dying?
Yeah, that's. Am I? What is that? I don't know why you, like, they're expecting just me and Kieran to show up. Or me.
Well, I'm just saying, you're acting like real mad, and we're just trying to help.
I wonder why I'm acting mad.
I don't know.
I really wanted to cast Gift of Gab there for a second. I'm not going to.
Can you make one of us look like Kieran?
If I had the scroll that's now missing.
Do you recall where you last had it?
The last time I remember having it was, I guess, was it here? I got changed here. I had stuff. I guess I could have left it back at my house.
The last time you had it, you were thinking about showing it to her. You were drunk on the couch.
Oh, so it
Caden,
was
did
here.
you see a
I
scroll while
remember.
cleaning?
Did I give it to you? I honestly don't remember.
I think it was
Caden's
left
going
on
to
the
check
couch.
Check the couch.
And wedged in between some of the cushions is a scroll.
There you go.
Is this it?
That would be it. Thank you, Caden. You're so lovely. Thank you. Maybe don't crinkle it as much.
I didn't. Here you go.
Thank you. Didn't have a one piece of paper. Yeah, I can help one of you cast this, and then we would have. Oh, I can't see the time because my
An hour.
character sheet is an hour. So
Wait, but wasn't the point that Kieran is missing?
the point was that they needed to talk to him so that we could get the azurite powder. And if we could convince them that one of you was Kieran and that we still needed the azurite powder to finish an experiment, and then they would give it to us, and then I get the real Kieran back, and I send him to go deal with the watch, and the watch doesn't know, that sounds great. Honestly.
That would also work.
But then he's
But it can't be too hard to impersonate, right?
Oh, heard you were not the one for the job.
Oh, I
No.
mean, but why
Also,
not?
disguise
But
self can
whatever.
only change height so much, Herd. It can only affect, like, a foot. If
Heard
you're-
you managed to get yourself arrested for something you did not commit, for a murder you did not commit, and you did that by attempting to lie about it.
Yeah, maybe leave
I
this
don't
to,
think
like,
that this subterfuge is your skill set.
Hey, sure. I mean, we can all poke holes in each other's past. Whatever. You would probably be maybe better suited for this.
Or Caden, depending
Yeah.
on the limits of your spell. Is it just appearance, or does voice also change?
I think voice also changes. trying really hard to read this.
Does
So
not.
you can change your. You can't change your body type, so you must adopt a form that has the same basic arrangements. It won't.
That
hold
just
up
means arms. You can't add a tail or
Yeah.
something like that.
and
Caroline is
you
just
can
right out.
seem a foot taller or shorter. So, someone who is
So-
approximately Kieran's height. I don't remember how tall Kieran is.
Well,
Probably
one second.
within a foot of.
Yes, definitely
Me.
within a foot. He's taller than you by a couple inches.
Magda and Caden are almost the same height, right? So, either.
Caden, is this a task you feel up to taking on?
What is? Am I likely to face magical detection of some sort, Olivia? While we're meeting with Gleason and her crew.
Depends on where you meet her.
I could request to meet at his house. Like, I could send her a message and just be like, hey, found Kieran. He'd like to talk to you. Here's the address.
And if we could meet on ground that we know they can't have something already precast, I think I could handle my own. Provided Clara can fill me in on as much details as possible ahead of time.
Yeah, I can help you pretend to be my boyfriend. That's fine. I'm totally okay with this.
Just treat her like she's trash. You'll do just fine.
Yeah.
Sure. We can talk about that later.
Boyfriend number 3 for the week.
Okay.
Oh, you're on a roll today, Kate. Man.
So is that the plan now?
Oh, that totally changed everything.
All right. Palms in.
D&D. You make one plan and then move to the next.
Okay, wait, but one question. Are we still working with the Rook, or is this not a thing anymore?
No, I don't see any reason why we can't work with the Rook. This is just a solution
Okay.
to the meeting problem, as well as hopefully the Azurite problem.
Okay, so we need to
But-
schedule a meeting with the Rook, a meeting with the Watch, and that's it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think the Rook meeting is important simply for the risk with the Rook is that the only way we would get any of this kind of stuff with him is if we were telling him everything. And if we can avoid doing that, that's probably best.
Which we could if we just. Never mind. Stole
I
it.
don't understand, Herd, why you're so into doing crimes these days. Like, that one stint in prison, and you're like, let's steal from the police.
I'm hard now. It was tough in the joint. All right.
I can
Change me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, yeah. All right. All good. I'm okay with this.
Okay, so what's the rest of today? What are we doing?
I think Caden needs to do a crash course on time magic.
Yeah,
We should also plan our where we're going to meet them, or where you're going to meet them. If it's Kieran's house, we may want to clean it.
Yes. That
Yeah,
can
may-
happen.
Maybe we should remove the eels and the evidence of you.
Yeah, so let's go to Kieran's.
Keep in mind, keep in mind where the eels are. It's behind a picture. Like it's a magnificent mansion inside the house. As far as anyone else is concerned, that place doesn't exist. So
Yeah, we just don't have to show them the portal through the picture.
So if you wanted to deal with the eels, that would be great.
We can at
If
least
you wanted to
investigate
get some
it.
of that aggression out, I would be fine with you attacking some eels.
I would as well.
Okay, we finally agree on something. So clean, eels, crash course, and then I'll send a message to Gleason in the morning requesting a change of location, and we will make this happen.
Perfect.
Great.
So, having made your plan, do you guys head straight away, or you guys decide to meet up a little bit later that night to do the other stuff? Do you take a breather from each other, take a walk, cool your heads, or are you just heading straight away to Kieran Gall's house?
Caden would definitely want to ask Magda if we could speak alone. He just wants to fill her in on all of the discussions that happened with Olivia and Herd the night before. Yes, there's a lot going on, and he even a half an hour or something like that.
Yeah, I think Olivia wants to grab Clara and talk to her aside if she can get the chance.
Okay.
I'll just like follow like 5 feet behind.
That's fine. She won't say anything.
So Magda and Caden head off to a room in the back of the apartment to have a conversation, leaving Olivia, Clara, and Herd here awkwardly. While you're standing there, Clara, your ring pings and you get a mental voice in your head of a message. Proud of you. Love you.
Okay.
Do you have indigestion or something?
No, my dad's just proud of me and I can't handle it.
Ugh.
So, back in the bedroom, or one of the offices, there's enough rooms back there, it doesn't have to be a bedroom. Caden and Magda.
I don't need to necessarily go through it all again, but for stream purposes. But Caden just kind of lays out step by step what happened with meeting everyone at the bar where Sherman is, and that whole interaction, as well as Sherman's kind of veiled threat after Olivia and Herd had left. And Caden spends a little bit of time discussing that. Like, Sherman didn't threaten her. He knows he can't touch Olivia right now, or any of us, with the Rook's interest. But he certainly made it clear from his tone, at least I read into it, that it meant find a weak point of Olivia, find someone she cares about, find something, I don't know, and make a lesson out of someone or something else.
Yeah, there's some repair work to be done after this, I would say.
Yeah.
Another job with the Rook. Maybe Claire can go on another date with Sherman. And if Olivia can keep her mouth shut, things should coast, I think.
Yeah, the Clara Sherman thing, I don't know if that's going to be dangerous or not. I don't think it's dangerous to Clara per se, but I do think that I don't trust her to be discreet. I don't know if we can trust her to be discreet about things. How was your dinner with her? What is your sense?
You're probably right, at least to an extent. But there's also a certain sense of how much does she really know? How much does she hear and recognize as information that's worth retaining and passing on?
That's fair. I think Olivia and Clara are becoming known entities, known quantities. I can anticipate and understand who they are. I'm struggling with Herd. He's eluding me at this point. I haven't been able to find any sort of common ground at this point, and his discussion this afternoon in the downstairs seemed out of character, which again, like I've been saying a lot lately, concerns me.
For now, I think we just, repair what we can with Sherman. Talk to Olivia. Just keep an eye on Herd. See if we can. He's clearly motivated by his sisters. I think anything to keep them safe or harm them would be a motivation for him.
You're right. Yeah. I'll keep
But
that
right
in
now,
mind.
I think there is less danger with Sherman than he and Olivia are convinced.
Okay.
While you guys are talking out in the living room,
Clara. All right.
Yes.
I know you're mad at me because everyone always is for reasons that are probably justified. But I need to just talk to you for a second. Just give me like 5 minutes and just forget that things have been happening and just listen to me for a sec, okay?
Before this starts, am I a fly on the wall in this? Like, am I in the same room?
yeah,
Okay.
unless they kick you out.
Do you want me to? Should I stick around?
Yeah, I think Herd should stay.
I mean, Claire, it's up to you. I'm going to say some things that you might not want him to hear. I don't know.
I think Herd should stay, just in case.
For safety.
Yeah.
Okay. Heard. I'm just going to tell you there's confidential information that is going to be present in this conversation, and if you say any of it, you will be liable to be arrested by the Watch. This is confidential Watch information. Things could be...
I'm out. I'm leaving.
How?
I don't want to hear this.
You're going to need to do... you got to sign the terms and conditions. And
No,
make sure that you know that this is an
I'm
NDA.
turning around
This is-
and leaving.
What confidential watch info? What?
Clara, like I said, I just need you to listen for a second. This is... I'm gonna ignore the stuff about Kieran right now, even though I have a lot of other things to say about him. We can maybe talk about that later, but right now I want to talk to you about Sheldon, okay? Sherman, that one. Sherman, yeah, that.
Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory.
Sheldon, yeah, that's. I don't know why.
He's such a nerd.
Yeah.
Bazinga.
I mean, yeah.
That's gonna be Sherman's new phrase now. I'm taking
Oh
it.
no.
It's fine.
Okay.
He has to become scrawny.
I need to talk to you about him for just sister to sister right now, okay?
When have we ever done that?
Clara, please.
I closed the
Please.
door.
I'm doing my best right now. Okay? Doing my best. I got some information on him from the Watch. It wasn't because I asked, it's because it's my job and they gave it to me. I'm not prying. They
Insight
gave
check.
me. Go ahead.
You specifically said
Olivia, roll me a deception or persuasion roll.
13.
I mean, yeah.
Whisper it.
Okay.
I will not look, just in case it doesn't go.
Public, private. Wow. Oh my god.
So if you recall, you specifically asked for this information.
No, but it's a part of the investigation.
True. You went and asked for it from your boss because your sister was involved, but you didn't say that. So
It's a part of it's
Right,
part of the
okay.
investigation.
all right.
She's
You don't
trying
believe her,
her
Clara.
best. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a file on his history and the things that he's done and the people that he's met and the people that he's killed and the people that he's everything. Okay? You heard about the wife. He had a wife. He's known her since he was 12 or something like that. They got married when they were like 12. They've been together since birth, and she died in a fire. So there's that. But also, this is the thing. He has a sister. And I think that the only reason that he's interested in you, I know, okay, you're a smart person, you're a good magician and all that, but I think the only reason that he's interested in you is because you're a time wizard, because she was a time wizard and she disappeared.
Okay.
So, I'm just saying, remember that you are getting involved with a person who is the second in command to the Rook. When his wife died, he killed up to 97 people. It says it in the file. I guess you can say, oh, it's fine, it was a past wrong and he was sad, but just take that into consideration. And he had a sister who was a time wizard, and she disappeared as well. Oh, and his sister died, and that might be the only reason. It's probably the only reason why he's probably taking advantage of you.
Okay. That is very interesting information for me to know after I had dinner and dancing with him. So thanks for that existential nightmare.
I didn't know before, okay? I didn't know before. I learned it, like, the other day. Because I did fucking ask for the files, okay? I did. I lied.
I figured. Olivia, I now might never talk to Sherman again. I get that. However, like, do you see how this makes me feel like you can't trust me to do anything?
Okay. Yes, but Clara, he's second in command to a mafia boss. When did you think that was, like, yes, he also was interested in time magic, but you're better than this. You need to have standards. You're a high-level magician. You could get probably plenty of people. You're attractive. You went to school. Like, you were in, like, you have a father and a mother and people that like you. You have so many things. You don't need that.
Yeah.
Olivia,
You hear through the door.
You're not there, but you can probably hear.
You hear through the door.
Yeah.
Olivia's
Like a
probably
voice
yelling
right up
so
against the
loudly.
The sword.
Magda and Caden can hear Olivia yelling.
Yeah.
Olivia, I don't know what kind of pedestal you're putting me on, but I'm going to remind you that Kieran and I are developing highly, at least unstable magic together. We have been for a while, and that magic we probably knew was either going to get us in trouble or get us a lot of fame. Like that's a thing that happens. So I understand why you want to try and keep me safe, I guess. But it's a little late.
It's late because you left, and I just got back. And the only reason we're together again is because of Mom's shit.
Olivia, I left, and then I wrote you. And you never answered me. Once. So if you're going to put this blame on me, you can do that. You absolutely can. But I'm not gonna stick around to listen.
Don't leave again.
I wasn't planning on it.
Just said.
I'm here. I'm here. I haven't left.
And I'm trying.
And I get that. But your way of trying is sometimes really mean.
It's because I'm not a fucking people person, okay?
Yeah, I kind of assumed that. You keep trying to cast friends on people.
And it usually works, all right? They just get mad afterwards, and that doesn't matter because it's afterwards. It's just you're here all the time, so I can't do that because.
Okay. Look, I appreciate your concern. I really do. Like, this is the most we've talked in years, and I don't really want that to stop. That I don't know what I want. Just, I'm an adult, and I've made choices that you probably don't like, and that's okay. But you can't keep treating me like I'm some kid that doesn't know anything, and then I'm tripping over my shoelaces like I did when I was a kid. I don't mind you looking out for me. However, I would appreciate it if that also didn't put you and Herd and our new friends in danger.
Okay. Just. I'll try. Just give me the. Just give me the benefit of the doubt. I'm usually trying to help.
I know. I do know that you're trying to help. This is hard. This is really hard.
I haven't seen you in such a long time, and every time I look at you, you're still like 3 feet tall.
I'm taller than you now. You have to actively look up
I fucking
to
know,
me.
okay? I know you're taller than me now, and it's because you had a big old rich dad. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. But
You've seen our shop. It's not very rich. Like, we do okay.
but you ate food every day, though.
Okay. How's this? Come to dinner with me and Arthur and Herd once. The next, if we get through this. Try.
Do I have to talk?
You know, just showing up would honestly be enough for the first time.
Okay.
Also, please try to not insult my dad.
Well, if I don't talk, it should be fine. I'll just say them in my head.
I feel like you might scare him a little with the smoke.
I'll try to turn it off, but sometimes it just starts up by itself. As long as you
try, it's fine. It's fine. It's all copacetic. It's gonna be fine. Just, I won't leave, and you come to dinner.
She reaches out, she grabs your hand, gives it a tiny squeeze, and then lets go. And then I gotta go do some stuff. And she just kind of leaves.
Okay, bye.
Hearing the converse. Go ahead.
They're just sitting alone in the living room now.
Do you leave as well?
No, I guess I'm gonna wait for Caden to tell him how to be my boyfriend.
I mean, presumably
So-
we would have heard like
Yeah,
them
there's been a long
yelling,
time.
Oh,
and
you would have
then,
heard
like,
most of that conversation.
Yeah, and then we wait like a bit and be like, I think they're done. We can go out now.
I heard the door close. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you would have definitely heard. She slams doors on accident just as a thing.
There we go.
Now, Herd, you were like standing outside in the hallway, right?
Not just standing. Like I had my ear up against the door, and I
So
was
I
like
open
putting
it.
my weight on it. And when she opens it, I like fall in. I'm like, oh, you know, like. I trust you guys got your stuff figured out.
Don't you say anything.
Okay, I heard some things. Should we just hug it out? Just as a family? When's the last time we had a good old hug?
Heard we're not ready for that.
Let's just go to the pits and do some training.
Yeah, emotional
All right,
boundaries.
all right.
Thank you, Claire.
Cool. Feels weird.
Bird
to
and
hear.
Olivia leave to continue to work on their training together. Caden and Magda come out to the living room where Clara is sitting against the wall next to the door.
Did you have a good conversation?
I had a conversation.
Fair enough. Want to talk about it?
Not really.
Also fair.
Yeah.
Well, shall we go clean Kieran's house, or do you want to work on disguises?
Yeah. I guess I gotta give you the rundown on some stuff. Well, both of you probably. We could do that there, I could do that here. I don't really know.
Well, seems Olivia and Herd have left for the time being, so why don't we just start here?
Okay. Can do that.
As Clara begins to talk about Kieran and the magical work that he does, she tells you that he's a transmutation wizard, one of those powerful ones in the cities. He can do any number of spells. He has several invisible servants that live around the house when he's there, though they're gone when he's gone. He is a brilliant mind, but does not... he doesn't care who the person in authority is, and he says what he wants to say. And that has probably kept him from rising to any higher position of power, both in school and inside of, the government or anything like that. His genius is recognized, but outside of that, people just don't like being around him. There is a distinct possibility that him and crud. Who's the captain? Captain
Gleason?
Gleason, thank you. Captain Gleason have met once or twice, though probably in a role of getting advice from her, or the other way around. She would approach him about advice regarding high-level transmutation spells or something like that. Outside of that, she also, as she calms down, as she begins to talk about magic, she begins to calm down and smooth out, and she talks about his brain and the way it works and the genius. You can see that she has some sort of respect for him. And now that she's talking about what she knows, she's no longer she's just talking away her stress a little bit. She then launches into a 401 lecture on magic and formulas and things that they've been working on. And it is, well, roll me an Arcana check, both Magda and Caden.
Oh,
Drawing diagrams.
This is my worst probably.
Somehow pulls out a whiteboard.
Can I help?
Oh,
no, they don't need it.
Thank God.
You are helping. You're teaching them. Caden, you hang on for a little while. This is not something you know about, but you're really good at listening and taking notes. But you get lost somewhere around Algebra 2. As she's just going into second level, third level, fourth level spell stuff that you would have never really had anything you needed to know about that in the past. Magda, you're used to hearing people ramble on about things that are over your head and just absorbing the knowledge without having to grasp the knowledge in a huge sense. You You piece things together really well.
I feel like Magda's had a fair number of like high level magic practitioners just like spill their guts to her, and she's like, I don't know what the fuck that is, but I'm listening.
Right. And so you piece together the things that are supposed to be pieced together. Like you get the words that work, the buzzwords that go well together. And you have a good enough grasp so you could fake knowing something about transmutation magic at a higher level than you know.
Enough grasp to like can spur on a conversation.
Right.
Like to tell me more about this specific term that you've already mentioned.
Right, exactly. You have that conversation, and one night, if you were to continue this longer, you feel like if you were to do this over several days, you feel like you could really whip this in. It's possible that you could push out the meeting a couple days, or you could just go with what you know and hope it passes. There's a distinct possibility that if he has met Captain Gleason, then she might reference things that he helped her on, but Clara has no knowledge of what those are. Only in so much that occasionally he would humble brag to her that he had to help somebody else. They wouldn't be able to find their heads with their hands if it wasn't for me. When it comes to certain levels of transmutation magic. But that is his specialty.
Okay.
That lesson goes for about 3 hours, maybe a little bit more before your eyes start to glaze over. Caden's glazed about an hour and a half ago, but Magda, you absorb a significant more portion. Claire, give me an insight check.
Okay.
And it isn't until they tap out that you realize what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
And as your lesson ends, we're going to go to break. And we'll pick this back up in 10 minutes. So thank you, Foundry, for stabilizing and not having any more major issues. Thank you all for hanging out and watching with us. We're going to go to break for 10 minutes, and we'll come back and pick up with a heist that's not a heist, a con job instead of a heist, and see where this goes. See you in 10.
Just so it's clear.
Back. I have ice cream, but that is not pertinent to this game. I just felt like saying it. After that very emotional conversation and a other kind of emotional lecture from Clara, we return to the scene of Magda's borrowed home, where Clara has been told that that's enough. That's all we can retain at the moment. And is ready to... It is probably only 4 o'clock in the afternoon at this point. No, wait. You taught for 4 hours. So it's about 7 o'clock in the evening now. So, Clara, what would you like to do?
As Clara's like putting her cloak on and things and gets to the door, she puts her hand on the handle and then turns back at Magda and Caden and says, before I go, I feel like I should tell you guys something. Just like, I'm about to do a really dumb thing. And just know that if you don't hear from me in the morning, the dumb thing went sideways.
Okay, please elaborate. What dumb thing are you planning?
Okay, so I'm going to go and talk to Sherman and try and smooth things over so he doesn't kill my sister.
No.
Well, here's the
no.
thing. I don't think he's going to kill your sister.
You kind of made it that Caden or Olivia
So-
made it seem like he was going to kill her.
He made a threat, but he can't really touch us because the rook likes us. So the way we fix that is we go and we make nice with the rook, and then Olivia keeps her mouth shut to Sherman. And
She's not
if
great
you-
at that.
Yes, but we'll have a conversation with her about that.
But do we need Sherman as an enemy?
No, but it's not going to be something that is going to be fixed overnight.
Here's my problem.
I'm not saying don't go talk to Sherman. If you want to go talk to Sherman, by all means. I'm just saying don't go there with the express intention of clearing your sister's name.
Yeah, that wasn't probably going to be a thing. This was more just like baby steps of maybe making it so that Sherman didn't hate us.
Yeah.
I would prefer to have less enemies, and I like Sherman. Caden, I get that you.
That
don't-
sounds good.
It's fine, but like we seem to be making a lot of enemies, and if I can do a thing that makes us maybe not have so many, I feel like that might be a good use of my time.
Clara,
Go
I'm
there
going
and
to tell you the
talk to
same
Sherman.
thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Olivia the other night. The correct, in my opinion, having been part of some of this environment for some time, the correct play is neither to get in too deep or be too far away from it. You're already tethered to Sherman in some way. Stay on the edge of it. You don't want to be in so deep that if you make a mistake, it makes him angry, or in so deep that when you have to make a decision to do something for your sister or for Herd or for one of us, that it goes against something that Sherman has told you expressly not to do. If you're that connected to him, you run the risk of doing things that he doesn't want you to do. At the same time, breaking off entirely from him may be seen as a slight. I don't know. I don't know what he's like personally for relationships. Being at arm's reach maybe is the right call. He did not threaten Olivia. He's not going to go after Olivia from what I can tell. He actually made that clear. He expressly said something about being protected or being favored by the rook. The concern is if Olivia's made him angry. And if Olivia has other people or things that she cares about, they're at risk now. But you're not part of that risk, I don't believe. And neither is Herd.
And I will also say, I will not sugarcoat it. Sherman is a dangerous individual. However, you are a very clever girl. Use that to your advantage. Don't give away too much, but have a good time.
Just brief question. You could just say yes or no. Do you know anything about his sister?
No?
Okay.
Caden?
I'm trying to remember, Scott is trying to remember if the conversation about his sister was one that Olivia just had was one that Caden was near. No, Caden did not hear what Olivia had said. So Caden,
Did we hear what she said in the room today, though?
She wasn't yelling about that part, just the later stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That seems like specifics about his sister doesn't. I don't think Caden would have heard that. So when you say a sister, you do catch like Caden like kind of gives you a glance like. Sounds like you're more have an ear to the ground more than I would have thought. But I don't know it. I don't know much other than he had a sister. I don't know something about. All I know is that everyone tied to the Rook, tied to the underground, tied to the mob in any way, including myself as a low-level member, heard about it because the shakedown came from the top down, the Rook and Sherman basically shaking down anyone who knew anything. We were all asked. That search went wide and far and was pretty intense from Sherman's side, but I don't know anything about her other than people were looking.
Okay. Well, again, if it goes I don't think it's gonna go sideways, but if it goes sideways, you should still be Kieran. Just like handle that. Think you can do it. It'll be fine. And just yeah, I'll see you in the morning.
Good luck.
She leaves.
You go straight to the Two Tails?
Yeah, not like in a hurry,
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, she's headed there.
Okay. Magda and Caden, do you just tuck in for the night? Go over some of the knowledge that Magda retained a little bit better than Caden did? Do some practice?
That would be very helpful. Yes. Magda would know how Caden learns, I would imagine. Like, we've been together so long, even as like children, that maybe you can give some extra, bump my 16 up a little bit.
There's that, and also we both saw Kieran in the portal that first time and could have clocked some of his attitudes and like his speech patterns and that sort of thing, and just like reviewing that. How does he talk?
Sure.
How does he stand? Etc.
Give me insight checks, both of you. Just this is for back then, as you think back. You both have really sharp memories.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. 22.
And a natural 20 or 21 for Meg. Yeah,
You're doing exactly what you're built for.
Yeah, so you guys 100%, you go over this like you basically are like, it's like a good comic stand-up with two people. Like, you guys are just facing back and forth off of each other, picking up, remembering that it was a high-stress situation, so certain tics or the way he stood wasn't, he probably wouldn't do that normally. He was in a high stress, so he's at his house. Remember to pull that back a little bit. What would that look like? And you've done enough of this that you're able to, like, you perfect his walk and the way he stands. You get his voice down. It's just you feel like you have it. There'll be a performance check tomorrow, but it'll be at advantage with these rolls. And so you feel like you have it. And Magda also takes the time to go over deflection techniques. If you don't know the answers to something, you don't say, how do you steer the conversation away from that? And just, these are skills that Caden hasn't had to use in a while. So you just take the time to like work through some of that. And so you have a good night. You've gained yourself advantage for your performance roll tomorrow if you have to roll one.
I think as Magda is talking about like these deflection things, Caden's going to start thinking about things to talk to Clara about before we go, which is just like, you know what? We're going to play it that Kieran is really tired. There was some intense magic that he ran. He may be even slightly injured, something that's just going to make him act a little bit less like his normal self, a reason for it, so that it seems less weird if he ever acts different than Gleason remembers. That kind of stuff. Once Magda starts talking about how to just like deceive, he's like, yeah, okay, yeah.
And also, one more roll from you guys. Give me just straight intelligence roll.
Not good.
Oh,
Magda's
Magda's got it.
As you guys are wrapping up for the night and you're going to head to bed, Magda, the thought crosses your mind: what happens if Gleason asks to see the project that this is for?
Right.
You don't necessarily have an answer. Maybe, I don't know if you do, but you do. That does come up as
There's
something
a
that
few
maybe
possible answers to that.
Yeah. Yes. Ian's already got 16 different answers labeled and labeled out. Clara, you head to the Two Tails. You hop on the tram, make your way over there. You get there about 7:30 at night. And do you just walk straight in? Do you stand outside for a little while?
She probably like hesitates a moment, like kind of looks around, and then just goes in.
Okay. You see Sherman sitting in his chair. He is reading a book. And as you come in, he looks up and sees you, and he folds the book up before you can get a look at its title. He just sort of sets it down and takes off his glasses and sticks them in his pocket, and he stands up. Clara, I'm really, really glad to see you. He looks over his shoulder. He waits for a second. No sister this time.
No. Yeah, I left her behind this time.
You had
I'm
a question
sorry.
you had asked me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess I did. I imagine I had a lot of time together, and we imbibed quite a bit. However, I guess I did have that question. I really don't mean to barge in. I don't.
You're welcome. You're welcome to come in anytime you like.
Okay. I mean, I do
You
want to
seem
ask a
on edge.
question.
Would you like to have a seat, have a drink?
Yeah.
Do you need a moment alone? Because
No,
there's
this
other
is
people
fine.
around here. Would you like to come back to my office?
She like thinks for a second. Said, yes. I don't know if is it okay if people over here. I don't
know what your business is. Why don't you come back to my office?
Yeah, let's do that.
He holds up 2 fingers to the bartender, and he leads you around to the left, and there's a door slightly taller. Like, it's not like a normal 6-foot door. It's like an 8-foot tall door, and he opens it, and he walks down a hallway, and he opens a door into a carpeted office with a big oak desk and a very large, comfortable chair. There's 2 or 3 chairs sitting out in front of the desk, facing it, and then off to the side is a fireplace, and there's 2 chairs sitting facing the fireplace, like a more casual location. The bartender follows you guys in and leaves a bottle of wine and 2 cups on the table, and leaves without saying a word. Off against the side, you do see that he has his own private bar in here, but it's more like whiskey and things like that. Not what you drank last time you were here. And so he pours you a glass. Here, have a seat right next to the fireplace. He doesn't go behind his desk. He sits down there.
Yeah, she'll take the glass, but she doesn't sit down immediately. She's like pacing just slightly, like not ready to sit down yet. She's gonna have to drink a little before that. She's like holding it in both hands. I don't actually have a wine glass at the ready. I should have done that. Props. Okay, so Sherman, I feel like this is weird. I just invaded your space, and I did it on
Not
one
at
hand
all.
last time.
In my life, that's literally not the weirdest thing that's happened to me. So don't worry about it.
I mean, honestly, I could probably say the same. That is not the weirdest thing to have happened this week. And
Well,
also
there you
probably
go.
not the weirdest thing I've done. So
stop feeling bad about it. People get drunk and they say things. It's fine.
Okay.
The answer is no.
okay.
If I was going to take you on a date, you'd know we were going on a date. I just
Okay,
wanted to
that's
get to know you.
Okay. I have a different question this time.
Of course.
You're interested in time magic.
Yes, among other things.
Okay. I don't need to know what those other things are, but can I ask why?
Sure. Oh, that was you asking why.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not. Please have a seat. You're making me nervous.
Okay. Sorry. Sits down.
Actually, how would you like to go on a road trip?
Claire is fine with this. I am screaming, don't go to a secondary location. Sure. I guess. Where are we going?
We're gonna play some show and tell.
Olivia's having like horrible chills and she doesn't know why.
I want to take you to my sister's lab.
Okay.
So he goes out and he leads you out the back door where his carriage is, his horseless carriage. The driver is just sitting there reading a newspaper, and he stands up and where to? And he walks over and he gives him an address, but he says it quiet enough that you don't hear.
I'm not trying to listen in.
He goes, do you have a familiar?
Yeah. She snaps her fingers and
Doesn't appear.
Oh. I usually do.
Is it a bird?
Yeah.
We had somebody's familiar come and start flying around, so we captured it. Hold on.
Yeah, that's sorry. I didn't know I was in a thing. And
He goes back and he goes, try it again now. And Kafka appears.
okay. She's petting him.
Sorry about that. I'd never seen your familiar before, so.
Oh, I kind of assumed research. Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
You thought I'd done research on you.
I mean, you told me you did research on me.
Yeah, I asked around. I didn't do research on you. That'd be like what, pulling your file? You know, that's a little creepy,
yeah.
don't you think?
Sorry, when I do research, I do a lot of research. I'm very sorry.
That's not a problem. I pulled your file.
Okay.
It didn't say what your bird looked like. That's all.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you also have familiars?
Yes, too. Fighting back there. Hey, knock it off. You drive through the city, and he takes you up back towards where the mines are. Basically, there's a mountain back there, and he takes you back to that part of the city, and you can feel that the carriage is taking you up into the heights a little bit, and it stops at this house, and it's a stone house built into the side of the mountain or on a plateau, a rock face, and it has a yard, not a grass yard, it's a stone front yard with some sculptures and other things, and it has 3 wizard type old Victorian type steeples on it, indicating 3 different areas. And it seems like it, and when you look at it, it's an impressive house, but you look a little closer and you realize it's actually not that big. It's like probably a 2-bedroom kind of thing, 1,400 square feet, 1,200 square feet. Yeah. And so he leads you in, and as he enters, he says a word in Sylvan, basically lights, and the place lights up. And there's a layer of dust over the furniture, over the there's nice furniture, there's nice tables, nice glassware, a nice bar, and there's a layer of dust over all of it. And he takes you and he leads you downstairs. And as he's leading you downstairs, he goes, "My sister wasn't actually a time wizard. People thought she was a time wizard. And she let them think that because it made it a lot easier to ask questions and people just thought she was a crazy time wizard. But she was actually a divination wizard. And she learned underneath one of the divination wizards at the school she went to. And while there, she was very good at her job and was very good at putting pieces together between different magics and things. You learn a little bit about evocation, you learn a little bit about divination, you can invent or create things. And so she liked to experiment and well, there's really no more than that to say. She liked to experiment. most recently, she had gotten involved in trying some sort of experiment. I don't know quite what, but she was trying to capture with divination. She was able to change the outcome of an event. She could see the process that was taking place and force it to be good or bad. She had less control than you do, but more control in other ways. So she could force it to be a particular thing, but she didn't get to see all the different possibilities like you showed me. But she was trying to figure out how she could see into the future so that way she could see farther. So she was trying to do some research about time wizardry in particularly. She was reaching out to some of the best time wizards. There's only a couple. And she eventually settled down to work on a series of experiments with a very nice guy. But you know him, you've done some work with him. Kieran Gall. She was doing some work with him. I've met him several times. He's very intelligent and good at what he does. So they were working on a series of things. And after working with him for a very short period of time, maybe a year, she broke off and decided to abandon whatever they were working on. She determined that it wasn't going to go anywhere, and she wanted to work on her own experiment. Now, I don't actually know what the new thing she was working on was, because and you know, he's talking to you about this on the ride up, and he's finishing the story as you're walking down the stairs. And as you're walking down the stairs, he shows you a study, and it's got a stone floor, and in the stone floor is etched 2 circles. And in those circles, they're like completely broken up, like something just came through with a jackhammer. But you can tell that there are 2 intertwining circles of magic, of somebody creating 2 different kinds of, so one surrounding another of 2 different kinds of something. But it's pretty banged up. It's very hard to tell what was actually right here. And so she disappeared. She had sent me a letter saying that she was leaving the services of Kieran Gall, and that she had an idea and she couldn't wait to try it. But she'd be, working. She did this often, where she'd just go underground and work for like a week or 2 straight, and not, ask not to be disturbed. So she sent me one of those letters, and then 2 weeks later I went to look for her and I found this. And he sort of just gestures around the room, and it looks like the place has been pretty thoroughly trashed, but not like somebody came through and trashed it. It looks like magical winds just chopped the whole place up. Like it has no rhyme or reason. And the floor was all messed up like this. So I reached out to Kieran Gall. He came and helped me do some investigation in here. And he told me that they had been working on an experiment, and she wanted to take it one direction and he wanted to take it another. And she took it her direction, and it looked like she sort of half succeeded. And he said she's lost to time, but I don't know exactly what that means. And so, yes, I did have an interest in your time magic. I was very upfront about that, I believe.
No, yeah.
Because I'm kind of curious to see how far into time you can see, and whether or not, what you know and what you can find out. But, I worked with Kieran for a while to try to retrieve her. We were unable to. And he eventually went off back to his own studies a couple years ago. So, yeah, that's this is, what do you make of it?
How long ago? 5
years.
Okay. Just 1 second. Okay.
You all right?
Yeah. Yeah. That.
You seem very distraught.
Yeah. This is great. I'm sorry.
Slow down. Just tell me what you're thinking. Do you know where she is? Do you know how to find her?
I do not know where she is. However, I have been working with Kieran for, 3 years now?
Yeah.
For 3 years. He also attempted an experiment. He also messed that up. So, don't know that he actually could have helped you. Because he made a rookie mistake, and it caused a lot of problems.
Is he also lost?
You could say that. But
Do you know how to bring him back?
you remember the azurite powder I mentioned?
Mm-hmm.
That's a component.
So if you had this azurite powder, you could bring him back. Do you think you could bring my sister back?
I could study the circle that Kieran made for his experiment. I would have to do some research into these circles to see if that's a thing. I'm not an expert in divination magic. I honestly only know so much about that element of time, magic things. Kind of still figuring that out. It's getting there.
Well, she went to. Well, maybe you can talk to her professor, Professor Alvin Molander, over at the Karakani Academy of Spells.
Did I already know him?
Yeah, you know him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can absolutely talk to him.
If you think that you could piece together what she was working on and figure out the direction Kieran Gall went, which is he said he was going a different direction on it, then how much azurite powder do you need?
The last time I looked into that, I needed about 3,000 golds worth.
He blanches.
She said with a straight face.
That's a lot of azurite powder.
It's a big mistake.
So good news, bad news. I could get that kind of powder.
Is that the good news or the bad news?
Good news. That's the good news. Bad news is I couldn't get it for free.
I figured. It's 3,000 golds worth. Everyone I've seen about this powder wants something. That's fair.
No, I'd certainly be willing to help you get it if you could guarantee that you could get my sister back. But if you could not guarantee such things, I would be very careful about promising.
I am not going to lie to you, Sherman. I know
That's
how to
wise.
solve Kieran's mistake. And that's mainly because I was studying it for a while. I am not a divination wizard. I don't know that I could attempt it. But that's probably not what you want to hear, and I do apologize for that.
No, don't apologize. You're the closest I've gotten in 5 years.
Yes, it would have been great if Kieran had already told me this.
He seems to like to keep his cards close to his chest. We
Yeah, I get
developed a working relationship, though. I supplied him with some tools that he needed, and he supplied me with information.
What kind of information?
Well, he helped me do some research here about this. He spent a lot of time down here studying these circles. Good year trying to piece together what they were before he gave up and said he couldn't do it. I brought in the professor. He said he had no idea what any of this was. Alvin. He was absolutely no help. But if you're working with Kieran on it, he is a very smart man.
Well,
Smart men make mistakes, but he is a smart man.
no, I mean, Kieran admitted to you personally that he couldn't do something.
Yeah, said it was beyond his abilities.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you a secret, Sherman. He doesn't just say those things.
What do you mean?
I mean, Kieran has...
Saying he lied to me?
I don't think he lied to you, but I certainly don't think that he would just say that he couldn't do something.
Well, no, he spent a year working on it.
Yes. I will tell you that I have not ever heard the words "I can't do this" really come out of his mouth when it comes to magical problems. He usually does it anyway, and it's blown up in his face this time.
Sherman starts tapping one of his teeth. Interesting.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. We can start accumulating this powder. It's going to take a little while to get that much, especially with what's going on the wall at the moment. They're starting to pull some off to go do that.
Here's the thing. I might have a source on some azurite powder, so that might work. I don't know. We'll see.
So you want me to not?
No, I would love for you to start, and I could attempt.
Well, I'll just tell the Rook to start accumulating it. He'll want something in trade for it, though. That's the way it works.
What can I offer?
I don't know what you have. Services, but 3,000 gold's worth of services is indentured servitude for quite some time.
I would prefer not to do that.
But if you knew of any old magic or scrolls, there's a war fetching right now, and any enchanted weapons, war magic or things like that.
I could put him in touch with someone.
Well, just be careful, because that someone, he would consider that a trade with that someone. So.
I don't know that that's really going to matter to this someone, but okay.
Anyway.
Yes. Thank you for telling me. There wasn't a secret thing. There wasn't some.
Well, the story of my sister is well known to some circles.
I don't think I'm in those circles.
No, I don't imagine you are. But if I'm being honest, my interest in you started because of that, but I do have my own interests. You are intelligent and easy to talk to a little bit. I like, you're nice. We seem to click on a certain level. So, wasn't all work. Or saving my sister.
Do you want to go on a real date?
That would be nice. What is your relationship with your mentor?
I'm going to be real upfront with you about this, because I've had a day. It's complicated. I did not know a whole bunch of things that he lied to me about, and so I'm going to have a talk with him eventually. But I think whatever relationship I had with him might be over.
Tell you what, when you get that straightened out, let's go on a real date.
And
I'm sort of a one-woman guy. I like it to be the other way around, too.
That's completely understandable. This was a revelation.
As you're walking back up the stairs, he goes, "There's another thing."
Love to hear that. Yes?
Your sister came and visited me the other day.
Yeah, my sister's a bit of a dick.
Unfortunately, she said some things in front of my companions that can't just be flipped away.
Okay. Can I...
So, I'm not going to hurt her. But a lesson has to be taught.
Yeah. What kind of lesson?
Just one that I am to be respected, at least in my own home.
Okay. I do love my
I'm not
sister.
asking your permission. I'm just
No. You're gonna
giving
do
you
whatever
a
you're
fair
gonna
warning.
do. I'm trying. Look, she's.
You don't have to get in the middle of this. You don't have to have a response. We seem to be hitting it off, and I don't want to have secrets that you're now pissed that I didn't tell you about or something. This isn't me asking permission. It's happening, and I don't even really require you to say anything. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all right. It'll be dealt with.
Just so you're aware, there's probably more going on. I
Honestly, I don't care. You don't come into my
that's
house
fine.
and say the things she said in front of the people she said it in front of. That's just disrespectful.
Yeah, she's good at doing that a lot. And
Well, there's consequences. Oh, that's all right.
okay.
Let me take you home.
Yes. That would be great.
He shifts the conversation back to just magical theory in general. No, actually, he starts asking about your life, where you grew up. Your dad seems like a nice guy. He stopped by there a little bit earlier this week.
You met my dad. Great.
Yeah, he seems like a swell guy. He was very interested who I was, but
Yeah. I'm sure.
he's a nice guy.
He's
But
great. He's nice.
he makes small talk with you for a little while, and unless you have something else you want to ask him,
I'm good.
so he just takes you home. It was nice seeing you, Clara. I hope I see you around again.
Yes, I will be in touch.
And now I know what your bird is. So next time though, maybe put a piece of paper or something so we know it's a message. It's
Yeah, it was a moment of panic.
Well, if he shows up again without anything, I'll assume you're in trouble and I'll follow him. How's that?
That sounds great.
Or I'll have somebody follow him.
That's also great.
Have a good night.
Yes. Good night.
He heads off.
Okay. Just
Herd and Olivia, do you do anything other than spar and then go home?
I forgot I was active participant.
You're muted.
You're muted.
I'm muted?
Yeah.
Now you're back.
Now you're
Can
back.
you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
I forgot I was an active participant in this. So, just along for the show. Let's do their sparring.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I just feel so worked up right now, and I just can't understand why. It's like chills are going down my spine. I just gotta train for a little longer.
I think that means it's a good training session.
Yeah.
All right, block.
Role play. I heard. I don't think we're just supposed to meet up at Magda's or
Kieran's.
Kieran's.
wait, but aren't we
Kieran's,
not?
I remember that.
Are we a part of that? Are we killing the eels?
they can go kill the eels.
Who?
Why don't we go there and maybe someone's there, we can talk to them and figure this whole thing out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't think we're supposed to kill the eels. Are we supposed to kill the eels? I thought we were cleaning.
Oh, yeah. We were supposed to. All right, let's just go and ask. I don't know.
So you guys make plans to get at Kieran's in the morning. Probably. We'll just say you guys set a time. You didn't say one in game, but it's perfectly reasonable for you guys to have picked a time to meet.
We don't need to roleplay that section.
Right. So you'll arrive there in the morning. Everyone beds down for the night unless there's something else. You bed down for the evening. Olivia, you go back home. As you swing by, you see that your Esamir people have been working hard on the houses. A lot of the doors are now straightened and seem to close. A lot less squeaking in the wind as you normally walk down the streets. And you rest in for the evening.
Yeah, if it's about time to pay them, I'll do that as well.
No, it's only been 2 weeks.
Oh, feels like it's been like fucking 3. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. We've been playing for 3 months, but it's only been 2 weeks. As you get up in the morning, you get ready to head out. It is Monday morning, and you hit the streets, ready to head over to Kieran Gall's house. Olivia, as you leave your house, you do the 10-minute walk down the street to the tram station.
Mm-hmm.
And about 5 minutes in, your nerves start to just stand on end. Something's not quite right.
Oh, yeah. Olivia will keep an eye out. She'll continue to walk, acting like everything is normal, but she'll look around a bit more. Maybe she'll stop at a couple of shops and awkwardly talk to a shopkeeper while looking around.
As you stop at the shops, you stop at a fruit cart that would normally be selling morning hot coffee and fruit.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody manning it. Give me a perception check.
Yeah. I'm going to use inspiration.
All right.
You know what? No, I'm going to save that just in case I die. I'm just going to normal look.
Normal look.
Normal luck.
Oh,
Hell
I know
yeah.
it looks so hard.
As you look around, probably because of your experience in the woods, you immediately clock a raven flying overhead.
Yeah. Birds are on the radar for me. It's been established.
Yeah. And it is a crow, rather, not a raven. And it is just sort of circling as you move down the street. It just sort of tracks with you as you're moving down the street. Shopkeepers, doors are closed, windows are latched, and there seems to be almost nobody in the streets.
Okay. Olivia is going to go for a light jog towards the tram station.
As you sure, yeah.
Yep.
As you jog towards the tram station, you get closer and closer to it, and something in the back of your mind is just screaming. This isn't like. It's like watching a scene you're used to seeing, and it's not right. Besides the people in the street, and you don't quite realize what it is until you get almost all the way up to the tram station. There should be a voice shouting the daily news, and it's silent. The talking stone on the wall that sits on the wall, and Jeff Bridges, the newscaster for this area, who sits there and talks about what's going on, is still gesturing and speaking. But somebody has counterspelled or dispelled magic the actual stone on the wall that would give the news.
Okay, her echoes out, but it's not walking with her. It's walking in the alleys and slipping underneath carts and kind of flowing beside her as she jogs. And she continues to keep an eye out.
Okay, you arrive at the tram station, and there is a light fog just settled over the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's here. You walk along the platform, and the tram is just sitting there empty. This thing runs on a very strict schedule. Every 10 minutes, one comes in and goes out. And this one is just sitting there.
Okay.
The other thing, sorry, I keep interrupting you. The other thing that's interesting is up until recently, there used to be 6 watchmen on the tram, 2 per cart, 2 per car. But recently, because of the wall, they trimmed that down to 2. And you don't see them either.
All right. Olivia will start to walk what is the closest? Zara's office, a bar, a shop, another tram station, or just...
It's all quite a ways away. I mean, there's shops and things. You haven't gone to... You're on the edge of the platform. This is with your natural 20 looking around. The tram is sitting there, and from where you're standing, you don't see anybody, but there should be a driver, but you can't quite make that out. There's shops and other things that are supposed to be open here. People selling goods to the train riders, but nobody's here. They're all closed.
Okay. What are the roofs like?
Sloped. Somebody could be up there, but...
Are they, like, hard to navigate or low or...
No, they're relative. Well, they'd be loud because here it's metal roofs.
Okay. She wants to climb up onto a roof.
Okay, you give me an athletics check.
Okay.
15. You're able to scramble up on a roof. It makes a tiny clang, especially in your armor. As you walk along it, you can hear the footsteps as you're, sort of sitting on this sloped roof looking around.
Yeah. Just once up on the roof, I want to just kind of walk along, and if it's possible, I want to be hopping from roof to roof to get to, like, the next part of town.
That's a ways away. The reason you have to ride the tram in the morning is because of how far anything close is. You're on the very back corner of town, and to get anywhere else is probably a good 2 or 3 hour walk.
Not in a hurry.
Okay. Do you leave the tram behind, or do you investigate it before you leave?
Tram, bro.
Not getting
no.
in it. I'm just asking if you take a glance at it.
I mean, I was looking around.
Okay, I
hard.
just want to make sure.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
So as you jump across some of the roofs and you start to make your way out of the area, you glance back and you see the shape of a dragonborn in the front of the tram, and he appears to be slumped over the controls. But he does look like he's moving a little bit.
Olivia is a watch person, and she's a smart watch person. This is not something that you go investigate on your own. This is incredibly dangerous. She's not going to walk into the tram, so she's going to go look for reinforcements to investigate the area.
So you know how the closest reinforcements are. So you get out of the immediate area and hop off the roofs, and you jog to where some reinforcements are, and you grab 2 watchers. That's really all that's available this far out and this early. Everyone else is, and you turn around and you head back. When you arrive at the train station, the whole thing takes about 45 minutes to get out there, grab the watchers, explain what you need, pull rank on them, and pull them back to where you're at a jog. And when you arrive back, the mist is gone. There's people on the platform, and the train is still there. You recognize the driver. He is standing, talking just talking to some people. And as you arrive in Watcher uniforms, the crowd sort of collectively turns towards you and starts to head towards you. People are shouting pieces of information, and it's hard to make out what's going on.
Shut the fuck up and get in a line.
As you say that, they're quiet and get in the line.
All right.
The tram driver is at the front of the line. They sort of push him towards the front.
What happened?
Don't know. Bunch of people got on at the last 2 stops ago, and then everybody got off the last stop except a couple people and a really big dude. I don't know what he looked like. Couldn't see his face really.
Muscular, heavy, made a lot of noise when he walked. Stomping.
Didn't stomp around, but muscular would be he grabbed me and they tied me up in the front of the tram. And then they apparently did something in the back, and they sort of lead you over. And these 2 guys were beat up in the back of the tram. And you look down and you see 2 watchers. You've met them because you've ridden this tram every day, and this is their route. And he goes, when I finally got myself free about 20 minutes ago, somebody helped get me free after the fog cleared. We went and checked on them, and it looked like they might have, they were alive for a while, but their wounds were too extensive and they died. some probably 10 minutes ago. And somebody has just broken like their legs, their arms, not used the sharp weapon, they just pummeled the crap out of them and left them alive, but on the edge of death. And with the empty train yard, nobody was able to find them.
I'm going to look at one of the other watch people, and I'm going to say, I need you to go get some people for me. You need to go to, I'm going to tell them the address of Kieran's place, and I'm going to tell them to get Clara, Hurdler, Magda, Caden, green-haired girl, some people that look fancy as fuck, and a big guy.
Yeah, all right. He goes, am I good to start the tram back up now that you guys are here? Because I'm way behind on my route.
No, we're going to need to look it over, evidence and shit.
All right. Well, your call. And so...
I'm going to need you to come into the station as well, tell the other people what you heard and saw, and probably check you over for wounds and shit.
Oh, I'm fine. He just tied me up.
Yeah, you
muttered
never know
something
what
about
kind of-
not being part of this. Our guys are at Kieran Gall's house. Olivia's not there. She's late. You guys have cleaned the place up, pulled Clara's books off the shelf, and put them in the magnificent mansion. There's lots of other rooms in there besides the one with the eels. And there's a knock at the door. It's a watcher who says Olivia is looking for you. There's been some watchers who were killed, and she asked us to summon you guys. Didn't tell us your names,
They
just
were
said
killed?
green-hilled girl.
I thought they were just hurt. Sorry, maybe
They
I
were
misheard.
killed. They were
Okay,
killed.
sorry. That was,
They were
I didn't
hurt
mean to
and
say
they
that.
died from their
succumbed.
wounds because there was
Yeah.
nobody to tend to them.
Okay, gotcha.
But Olivia's all right, correct?
Oh yeah, she's fine.
We should probably make haste.
All right.
In the meantime, Olivia's
How-
questioning the rest of the people.
How much time do we have until the meeting?
Clara, what time did you tell him to meet you?
I would have probably told them to meet around noon.
Okay.
At the time, like the location change.
You have about 3 hours then. It would take about an hour to get across the city and an hour to come back.
Suppose a quick look can't hurt.
You
Let's
guys
go.
make your way there.
Yeah.
Sure.
I
Olivia,
start off.
you-
Does anyone follow me?
Yeah.
You what?
Yeah.
Say that again?
I start going. I'm wondering if anyone's following me. They said yeah. So
Yes.
You make your way back to the tram station. Olivia, you've questioned everybody. Nobody saw anything. The basic statement is the same. Once the mysterious fog vanished, people started coming back to the tram station. Don't know. Their excuses, I decided to stay at home and drink a cup of coffee. I normally would have been there about this time, but decided not to today. Something felt off, decided not to, I just woke up late. That's why I didn't open my shop. Man's allowed to wake up late on occasion.
If people are just giving me those bullshit answers, Olivia's gonna get a little intimidating.
Roll me an intimidation roll.
Okay. Like, this is serious watch business. 2 people died, and you're just going to sit here and be okay with that? And also,
What about you? You come through here every day, don't you?
I did come through here and I went and got reinforcements and I'm dealing with the situation. Are you trying to help or not?
Roll your intimidation.
Yeah. 15.
Look, we don't want any trouble. Word got around that when the tram rolled in, maybe you should just make yourself scarce for a little while.
Okay.
So we did.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for, and I appreciate you being helpful to society, the society that you also live in, that we protect you in.
Mm-hmm. He looks over at the bodies. Right.
These people died protecting.
Oh, there's nobody on there.
What? The 2 watch people died protecting you guys from some kind of criminal. And apparently you guys saw nothing the entire time.
I was sleeping in today.
Mhm.
What, a man's allowed to sleep in?
I'll remember that, Gary.
How'd you know my name?
I come through here every day.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah. All right.
The crew rolls up. The station is back to, they sent another tram through. The station is back to bustling as people are quickly going about their day.
Like the two watch people probably got covered up by a tarp of some kind, and when they get here, I'm like, Clara, I need you to look at something.
Okay.
Take her over to the bodies, throw the tarp away. This is what your new boyfriend is doing.
She looks at them. Looks back at Olivia. Says, okay.
Tosses the tarp back onto them. He wanted that to be me, probably. But I guess if I have this protection, it's going to be a bunch of other watch people. I told you we need to make friends with the Rook.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Clara, I'm not yelling at you right now. I'm just showing you the consequences of decisions.
Yes. You are showing me the consequences of someone's decisions.
The only reason that I pursued him in the first place is because you decided to go out with him, and he is a very bad person anyway. I'm just saying, we need to be careful. I won't annoy him
wisdom
anymore.
saving throw, Claire. Claire.
11.
You set the DC.
Yeah.
Is that enough to cause a panic attack?
Yeah, I think so. In this situation? Yeah. She's just staring straight at Olivia.
We are
Give
going
me
to
an insight roll, Magda.
Okay.
Do I?
Yeah, you can give one too.
Okay.
And Herd as well. Everyone can give an insight roll.
Caden's more just getting annoyed by the fact that we're walking across town. We have stuff we had to do, and we should get going and stop talking. He's not paying attention.
Magda and Herd, you see Clara slip into a full-blown panic attack.
Perhaps we should just deal with this later. And Clara.
There's 2 people dead.
Well, we don't want to make that 3. I mean, look at her. Clara, everything is going to be okay.
Is it?
I think so. Certainly, I think that there's a way to handle this situation with this. What was it, Sherbert?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I don't know if this is Clara or Jackie.
I was laughing. Claire's horrified.
Okay. I'm gonna tug on Caden's sleeve and gesture to Clara. Can you help deal with her and the meeting coming up?
I'm gonna
You feel comfortable with that?
I'm gonna walk up to Clara, and I'm gonna take her shoulder. I'm gonna just kind of gently face me for a second. Clara, you and I have some work that we have to do. I need you to go over everything one more time. We've gone over all of the things about the spells. We've gone over a lot of the stuff about Kieran's his magic, his work, and everything like that. But I need to know a little bit more about how you and he interact from time to time. And I start kind of walking as I'm talking, and I'm kind of gesturing and everything like that. I'm actually going to cast a spell. I'm casting enthrall on her in an attempt to
Is that a
distract
charm?
her.
Is that a charm spell?
That's a good question.
Because I
It
don't
is.
know.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't know you had this. This is the first time you ever cast a spell.
He doesn't even know he's doing it. But I'll do it because I don't know. Basically, it's an attempt to distract you from the bodies on the ground because it distracts you from a creature. You basically have failed perception checks or disadvantage on perception checks to see other creatures. But
Okay.
it doesn't matter if you can't be charmed, really.
Okay,
But
that's
the thing is the same. Caden is going to just stand there and trying to distract you with, we have work to do. I need you to focus on this work that we have to do. Tell me,
All right,
what
give me
is...
a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Me?
Yeah, you're not immune to charm effects. You just get advantage against them.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a half elf thing or a full elf thing, but
It's Fey ancestry. Full elves I
Okay.
think can't be. Saving.
No, they just have.
so she saves.
You mentioned Kieran and she gets worse.
Okay.
There's so much.
Okay. Walk with me. We've got to work through this.
Yeah, Caden, I'm freaking out right now. You could just, I don't know. I don't know, hit
Postpone.
me.
Postpone
Just-
the damn meeting. I will talk
Here,
to.
postpone this meeting.
I will talk to Zara. I can talk to Zara. I will tell her there's an issue and it can be postponed. Okay.
And she's gonna know
I'm gonna go
something's going wrong.
set my hand on Olivia's shoulder. Let's go grab coffee.
Oh no, I have a lot to do today.
Well,
I
is
think
she
we should really
actually?
discuss what just happened.
Actually,
And let
Olivia,
Claire
as
have
you're
a
standing here at the crime scene, another group of watchers roll in. And one of them walks up and goes, well, we'll take it from here. I think this is sort of our jurisdiction. What unit are you with again? We'll get a report from you.
I know that answer, and I say it.
You're not with any unit anymore. Remember, you are part of a top secret unit now.
Oh, I work under Zara. My name is Corporal Olivia. I will give you my report. I need to,
This is basically the CSI unit. It's not
Yeah.
your job to maintain the whole scene of crime. That's they have
Okay.
people for.
she'll just Magda, I'm gonna go talk to them. I'm gonna tell them what happened, and then we can go do whatever you want to do.
All right.
Yeah, Olivia's gonna step aside with the people and explain everything that she saw, and the description of the man being super muscular and big, and that pretty much everything. Not explaining the fact that she had an issue with Sherman, but she'll explain everything she perceived that morning
Okay.
and what
Sounds
she
good.
did.
All right. Oh, it makes sense. What did you have reason to believe it was a trap?
Well, I mean, when there's a lot of smoke and I mean, everyone was away. I come through here every day. Everyone was away. There was a bunch of magical fog, and I didn't. It would have been just know this. It's a bad tactical move to walk into a situation like that on your own. It would have been 3 bodies instead of 2. So
Did you know that they were okay or in there?
I didn't know that they were in there. I just went to go get reinforcements as soon as I could.
All right. Okay. Interesting call. Thank you very much.
Can Caden roll
He's just giving you
insight?
shit.
He doesn't what?
He's just giving you shit.
For not getting myself killed? Okay, whatever. Olivia's mad. That's normal.
Caden is inciting.
Basically turning to her and being like, what do you know about, tell me, like, how did Kate, has Claire told you anything more about her and Kieran, like what they talk about, how he's basically trying to determine like how he might get through to Clara in this moment.
Okay.
Do you know anything? How did her and Kieran work together well?
I mean, you know, they work together well.
Olivia's gonna, like, while they're talking, she's gonna walk behind them. I'm guessing Clara's like standing up to the side, panicking.
No, they've walked quite a ways away. But I want to actually move the scene over to Herd for a second, because Herd, you had natural 20. You saw that she was having a panic attack, and that Caden's attempt to calm her down did not work. What would you like to do here?
I don't know. Like I've already tried to calm her down. That was my best attempt, guys.
I mean, Olivia just wants to walk over and hug her.
Are you gonna do that?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But if Herd wants to do something, he can. But that's
Okay.
what Olivia was gonna do.
I'm gonna let you do that.
Claire
Olivia-
steps away.
I'm gonna creepily watch.
As you go to give her a hug, she just 30 feet away.
Okay.
I'm-
Sorry, go ahead.
No, she's just like as far behind Magda and Caden as she could be. Just Misty Step. She didn't use Invisible too.
I
Clara?
think you two need a little bit of space apart. Olivia, let's go grab coffee, think about some things. Clara and Herd can go take a breather, can deal with things before the meetings. Go ahead.
No, go. I just am excited. I'm gonna try something.
And
Clara?
Caden, yep.
These feelings that you're feeling, they're only temporary. So I know it's a lot. All of your emotional responses have been justified. It's only temporary.
Those guys are dead. That's not temporary.
Those aren't emotional response. I mean, yeah, that's very real, very permanent. You make a fair point, but the guys in the mafia, right? People die around him. This isn't your fault.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, sure.
No, it's not your fault, Clara. It's not your fault.
It's my fault.
Caden's gonna walk over.
Herd offers Clara a hug. He was doing it on camera, but okay.
She's like backing away.
Okay.
With all of the training and the stuff that Clara told Caden yesterday, and then that Magda and Caden attempted to like recreate Kieran in Caden's mannerisms last night, Caden is going to walk over in the most just disdainful look on his face and just push her to the side and just be like, get out of here. You have no place in this conversation. He's going to look at Claire and he's going to be like, snap out of it. It is time to work. Stop acting like a child. You have work to do and you're coming now. Let's go. And he's going to basically try to act like a dick and just be like, you have no choice in this matter. Let's go.
Like good
And
cop,
he's going
bad
to
cop.
channel his inner Kieran and be just
Yeah. I say Claire has a moment. She doesn't get that this is coming from Caden for a second, but just follows on instinct.
We're heading back to the place to go
Okay.
continue in case that meeting does
Olivia and
happen.
Magda split off. Herd, Clara, and Caden split off, and we also split off because it is 8:30. And so that's where we're gonna call our session for today. Yeah.
When am I gonna get a hug? I just want a hug.
Don't hug me while I'm panicking.
Well done, guys. Oh man.
That's horrible. I hate that.
This is terrible.
They weren't supposed to die. Oh man. Sherman didn't intend to kill them. He figured they'd be saved by Olivia. Oh. Oh.
That is the most dangerous, ominous situation that you made. Why is it
100%. I'm not saying your reaction was wrong. That's what Sherman thought would happen. Is he thought you knew you were protected, and so you go into the train. However, that's you made the right call. It's just Sherman misjudged things.
We both now had a screaming moment on tonight's stream.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm sure you guys don't want to hang out and listen to us chat about the game afterwards. But thank you all for watching. It was absolutely amazing. I can't wait for next week, where we might get around to the con job. We'll find out. This has been, a lot of fun. So thank you all. Say goodnight and wear a mask and give somebody a hug for Herd.
No, or just ask them
for me, guys.
First.
Ask permission first, obviously. Then give one.
That's not.
Are we out, Scott?
Good night.